that happened, the internet swung into action. And what bugs me is you've got double standards being very blatantly obvious, running away on both sides. But in this specific instance, it does come more from the left-leaning areas. Give you a case in point example. One of the interviews that I listened to, a woman went to D.C. She was a member of the Walk Away movement on Facebook. That group was moderated. It was 500,000 strong. In all of her watching the group, the moderators had never let any calls for violence or things that went against Facebook's terms of service or broke any laws get up on the Facebook Walk Away page. Shortly after the march, rally, and riot, it was all three things. Similar to a lot of the Black Lives Matter protests. The 5 million strong Facebook group Walk Away, which was just people commenting about, leaving the Democrat Party, posting their stories and videos and paragraphs and whatnot, and some of the consequences they've had to pay for coming out as not left-leaning. That's all it was. That group went away. Donald Trump is unpersoned when it comes to social media. And a lot of people were going to Parler because they seen the writing on the wall. And Google and Apple took Parler out of their Play stores. And Amazon, who did Parler's web servers, pulled their deal with them. So I've never been on Parler. I went on and poked around, but it didn't interest me because nobody that I knew was on there. I'd have to start curating everything all over again. At the time, it didn't interest me. I thought, oh, well, this will blow over in a couple days. Whatever. Facebook will normalize itself back out, is what I was expecting. And well, the thing about it that irritates me is, first off, if a website hasn't broken any laws if I were to start a streaming service or a video streaming service platform, so anyone can post a video of whatever they want. I get to choose, is it for 18 and up, so do you get to post sexually explicit videos on there, which I probably wouldn't. And then that'd be about it. So, okay, let's just suppose I leave it 100% unmoderated. If you want to post it up, so long as you don't post pornographic material, you can post whatever you want. Okay, cool. I've got a server farm hosting the servers, allowing the content to go up and get shared and get likes and whatever's on my platform. That all goes around and becomes its own thing. If someone does something illegal on my platform, not necessarily against my terms of use. Like, for example, I say, you don't get to post sexually explicit images. Okay, fine. Well, if someone does that, I can delete their video. I can do things to their account, give them a warning, a strike, suspend their account for X amount of time, whatever I choose to do, right? Okay. If someone breaks the law, I can turn around and ban their account. I can report them to the authorities, all those things. But as long as no one's breaking the law, so long as people are abiding by the terms of use in the user agreement, there's really no reason for me to go after them. And a lot of social media companies have gone after people that have not violated the terms of use on their social media, the social media platforms that they use. And people are getting tired of it. Well, then people said, well, why don't you just build another, build your own? Well, one of those happened to be Parler. And the thing is, what'll end up happening, and this has been proven kind of time and again, is that someone will come up with a new social media platform. The ones I know about are like Instagram, WhatsApp, and I think Tumblr, I'm not sure. But someone will come up with it, and then Facebook will see the competition and buy them out. And Facebook's got, a huge pile of money that they can buy these companies, lock, stock, and brand, and, pay really good money for these companies. And the owners, they see dollar signs, and I don't blame them for that. If I invented anything and someone offered me the chance to be a millionaire without the struggle of marketing and managing the growth headaches, I'd be all over it. If I invented that, that new streaming service that I was mentioning, you can live stream whatever you want so long as it's not pornographic. If I invented that and it started catching on and someone showed up and offered me a big fat check, I'd be all over it, because I just reduced a headache and put a pocket load of money, or a barrel load of money in the bank. Of course I'm going to do that. So I don't fault any of these upstarts for doing it, but Facebook has a lion's share of social media companies. In order to eliminate competition, they just buy them out. So now Snapchat and it might be Instagram. Snapchat, Instagram, and WhatsApp are now all Facebook stuff. So whatever revenue they make, Facebook gets. Okay, cool. Good for Mark Zuckerberg and good for Facebook as far as I'm concerned. And good for the people that invented it, because they sold to someone who already had all the contracts and a lot of the things figured out. So good for everybody. But I don't like it, because guess what? If I decide, Facebook's censoring me, I'm going to go over to Instagram or Snapchat. It's all the same moderators and stuff. Okay. So Parler came about. It wasn't bought out, but the app stores quit carrying it. Their servers bailed out, and I really, really, really hope that Parler had a big contract with one of these companies, that they were going to provide the necessary servers for them to go at 5 years of projected growth with the option to buy into more servers. I really, really hope that was the case. Because if it was, Parler's got a really good suit on their hands to go after, I believe it was Amazon Cloud Services that was hosting the Parler servers. And they could go after them on that. I just think it'd be hilarious if, in an attempt to shut down a less bias against conservative social media company, Amazon shot themselves in the foot, and then they end up getting a court injunction to either fulfill their contract or to I think that would be hysterical. I don't know that that's going to be the case. I am going to try to keep up with that. I got to admit, I was never tempted by Parler until all of a sudden it became the thing you can't do. Because the thing that men want to do is the thing that we can't do. You tell me I can't drive 60, I'm going to drive 65. You tell me that, you get my point. You give us a rule, we'll figure out a way to break it, or at least walk right up to the line and spit across it. This guy is really tailgating me. And it's starting to tick me off. I don't like being tailgated. I'm going down this little 2-lane road at night at a decent enough clip for him to be happy. So anyway, I don't think that Facebook banning all these groups and profiles is a good thing for the national discussion and for echo chambers and groupthink and confirmation bias. I don't think that everybody moving to Parler is a good thing, although I completely understand why they are. Because guess what? We've gotten spoiled to social media over the past. MySpace came out, what, 02-ish? Okay, call it 01, 02. MySpace came out, I'm thinking. And people, got spoiled. Hey, I can create a profile, I can put my pictures up, I can post jokes, I can message my friends from my computer. We've gotten spoiled to all that. So I understand people, hey, Facebook banned me, heading over to Parler, or whatever. But I don't think that it's a good thing, because you're going to have these echo chambers of conservative and liberal and right and left thought that you don't have a challenging thought cross you, a thought that challenges your point of view. I'm on Facebook. A guy I used to go to church with, I don't know his actual party identity, but he is further left-leaning than I am, would be the fair way to describe that. And he and I will get on Facebook and we'll rant paragraphs about why the other person's wrong. And both of us have to have sharp arguments, and because both of us know our perspective on issues that we choose to discuss very well. So no one's getting away with a, fat white racist or a, darn commie and, oh, well, you shut me down. No one's getting away with that. We are both, first off, as far as I'm aware, we're both above name calling. And both of us know our stuff, so we can rebut that rather easily. So you can't go for the low-picking fruit in those discussions. But I don't think that this is a good thing. I really don't. What in the world is going on here? I swear the crazies come out after midnight. I just had to go pick up some stuff for work before the grocery stores closed, and there was a dude stopped right in the middle of the road coming into town. So I just hope that the rhetoric on discussion cools down. I personally don't look for it to. I think that people have gotten hooked on outrage culture and cancel culture and everything else. I think that it's become a bad addiction for the people that have the power to do it. And I get it. It would be a huge power trip to to wipe someone's social media presence off the internet, much less an entire internet company. So I don't think it's going anywhere, but I wish that those in the halls of power when it comes to media companies would chill out for a second, sit back and think about what they're doing. The thing is, you could find if every, and I mean every, company that supported any web-based service, and like, okay, you could take Facebook, Parler, YouTube, Google, whatever. So long as they didn't own everything that puts their company out on the internet. You know, like suppose, say, Facebook and Parler both use a third-party server. If one major tech platform or social media platform had the plug pulled on them by the Play Store, the Play Stores, their server farms, and everywhere else, it wouldn't take 6 months for them to come back again, because they still own all their branding. They still own the software, as it were, as far as, you know, the coding, the way things work. It would just be down because they don't have the computing power to run it. So it wouldn't take 6 months for them to get investors to come back in and say, hey, we're gonna build a ground up. We will own everything that concerns us getting it on the internet. People would sponsor it because, hey, you know, you're going to be one of the core sponsors. We've got this pile of money, but we need more because, you know, server farms ain't cheap. So it wouldn't take long for all that to come back to being on the internet again. And frankly, I look for that to happen to Parler. For some rich conservative, Donald Trump had actually made mention of getting involved in the social media game, and if he's as rich as he says he is, if he bought server farms for Parler and bought into that, that would send that company through the roof in the terms of subscribers and revenue and everything else. And you can agree or disagree with Parler's stance. You can agree or disagree with Trump. I'm just talking just in a, one would be good for the other would be good for the other. So I don't think it's a good thing, though. I think that if I enter into a agreement with a company in order to provide a good or service, that I'm obligated to do so until I either can't or don't want to, and if either one of those is the case, that I owe forewarning. Give you a case in point example of this, then I'm out of here, folks. I gotta get gas. In my side hustle, cutting grass, I've been doing this for 16, 17 years at this point, just as a side hustle, and I'm getting tired. I'm getting burnt out. It's taken away my weekend or a weekend day where I get to do what I want. It's taking away time that I get to spend with my wife and kids. I'm getting tired of it. And so I've been on the fence about either downsizing or just getting out of it altogether and having the best looking yard in my county. I can't make up my mind. And I pitched an idea to my wife a couple days ago about downsizing to half a day's worth of yards. Essentially, I've got some that are clustered real tight together. I could go out and knock them out real quick. Several of them are neighbors. Some of them aren't neighbors, but they live in the same subdivision so close, I don't even strap the mower down. I don't put my seatbelt on. I literally drive between two cul-de-sacs in this subdivision. But I've talked about it with her. But I owe my customers a advance warning, so hey, this is taking up a chunk of my weekend. I'm tired of it. I don't need the side hustle as much or at all anymore. I'll help you find someone else if you need my help, but someone else is going to have to cut the grass next year because I have better things to do than work my entire life away. So I think that if Amazon Cloud Services was going to cancel Parler, that Parler was owed a termination window so they could try to line something else up. But I really don't think that this is a good thing. I think that neither side in broad terms understands the other, and with the attempt at segregation of thought and moving others elsewhere or out of the space entirely. I don't think you're going to have a lot of people that understand the other side of the aisle, that would be willing to listen to the other side of the aisle. And if no one puts the brakes on this, I can see it very easily leading to a place that no one wants to go. That's what I got. Sorry for the gloom and doom. Y'all stay safe. Thanks for tuning in. Catch y'all next time.